Show me yourself.
These three words should have been a death sentence. Moses stood before God and dared to ask for what no human being had ever received. He did not ask for power. He did not ask for signs. He did not ask for victory. He asked for one thing only: to see him. And the answer rang out as if the sky itself had split open. You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Imagine that moment. The Almighty Creator takes this fragile human and hides him in the cleft of a cold rock, covers him with his hand, presses him close, protects him, not from an enemy, from himself, from the holiness that would have incinerated Moses in an instant if he had looked directly. And only when the epicenter of that incomprehensible glory has passed by is the hand removed. Moses is allowed to see only the back of God, not the face, not the eyes, not a smile, only a reflection, a trace, the shadow of the one who had just been there. And this was not the only time. For thousands of years, prophets tried to peer behind the veil, and every time, instead of a face, they saw things that made the blood run cold. Colossal thrones, oceans of living fire, creatures with 6 wings and thousands of eyes, a radiance that burned out the eyes. None of them left a description of his features. None. Even the Apostle John, when he found himself before the one seated on the throne, could not describe anything human. No features, no outlines, only a pulsing, blinding light like jasper and carnelian. An emerald rainbow around the throne, and from the very epicenter, continuous lightning, peals of thunder, and voices that shake the universe. After all these visions, after all the scorched rocks and blinded prophets, the gospel sums up the greatest mystery of humanity in one short, cold, and terrifying phrase. No one has ever seen God. But this is where the strangest part begins. Thousands of miles from the biblical lands, the Quran echoes almost the same idea. There is nothing like God. And yet, in the same breath, it calls him the light of the heavens and the earth, light upon light. Farther east, the Vedic tradition speaks of an unmanifest, boundless reality, one that no single image could ever contain. That is why it can embrace many divine forms, while teaching that none of them can express the fullness of the infinite. In China, the very first line of the Tao Te Ching offers a warning. The Tao that can be fully named is no longer the eternal Tao. Even Buddhism, without placing a creator god at its center, speaks of the unborn, the uncreated, and the unconditioned, something that cannot be reduced to an ordinary object or form. Different languages, different centuries, different visions of ultimate reality. And yet, again and again, one strange idea returns. The infinite cannot be turned into a portrait. What if these teachings were never truly describing what God looks like? What if they were describing what happens to the human mind when it touches something immeasurably greater than itself? One prophet calls it fire, another calls it light, a third sees a throne. The mystic calls it silence. The philosopher calls it absolute being. These may not be portraits at all. Perhaps they are the final words a human being manages to speak just before words themselves fall away. So perhaps the question has been wrong from the beginning. What does time look like? What shape does consciousness have? What color is infinity? If God is the source of space, matter and form itself, then he cannot be merely another body inside the world he created. And here, different traditions leave us with one shared warning. The moment someone says, "This is God in all his fullness," they are probably not showing God. They are showing the limits of their own imagination. Perhaps the true appearance of God is not a figure in the sky. Perhaps it is the incomprehensible light by which we are able to see anything at all. Now, close your eyes and think of God. What appears first? A face, light, endless space, or a presence with no form at all? Write just one image or one word in the comments, and perhaps your image of God will reveal more about you than about him.